My man Brian, how are you?
Hey man, what's up? Long time no see.
Yes, sir. How
Yeah.
long how long has it been?
Well, at DC Studios had to be around what 2005, but then I photographed you at Starland Ballroom.
With Tesla, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But D City was back in 2005, right? How
Yeah.
you been, my friend? How's things going?
Very good, very good. How's it going? It seems like you're doing great.
We're killing it. We're killing it. This is Paul Ranieri, my man Brian
Hello,
Rademacher.
Brian.
Hey man, what's up? I just watched some videos on you, Paul, and
Uh,
pretty interesting. You go back a while too, you
yeah,
know. Cool,
I,
cool, cool. So we're gonna go down a lot of the bands you were in, and then first, congratulations on the new album, Voices of Extreme,
Thank,
which is Faith in Action.
thank you, brother. Thank you. Much appreciated.
No problem. The first video is Stone Babies, which I watched the video. I'll post it today, and that will be on BraveWords Records. Tell me about BraveWords Records. Is it a new label?
BraveWords record well, BraveWords, bravewords.com, obviously. So this is, I believe, a new division that they've started up, and Giles Lavery, our manager, brought it up to us as a good fit for us. And
Right.
honestly, he's got Michael Brandvold in there, and they're working together. Honestly, Brian, we couldn't ask for better. It's just been absolutely amazing what they're doing. They're spreading it everywhere, the song and the video.
And also, congratulations on Anthony.
Thank you. God bless.
Yeah.
Anthony
I
and
saw the
Alexi.
pictures.
Yes. My two grandkids. Absolutely.
Cool. So let's go back to the 2005 release, uh, Hypocrite. Tell me a little bit about that album and how it was received, and tell me a little about some of the tracks, which were your favorites.
All right. So Hypocrite was the very beginning of the band. Different lineup, obviously. Different. I think you already know, like Johnny Macaluso, obviously, and Nick Gertson and Bobby Brennan. So four-piece band and myself, and it's really that's what started it all. Bobby Brennan and I are childhood friends, and he was living in Florida, and he ended up putting everything together with Danny Spitz, Nico McBrain, and it was crazy there. It was really a lot of fun,
Right.
and that record deal came together very quickly. And I'd have to say, by far, my favorite song is "Hypocrite."
Uh,
Just it had a little Soundgarden in there, some heavy stuff, and but that was the beginning of Voices of Extreme. So
right.
through the years, it's transformed many times, and then and now obviously you can see it's a three-piece band
Right.
right now. Myself on guitar and vocals, Paul on bass, and Rod Morgenstein on the drums. So it's been an evolution. So it's just like it's a family growing, whatever it is.
Cool. Now let's go to the next release, which is Break the Silence in 2011 on Metalville Records label, and tell me a little bit about that.
Right. That's when the band got more focused, I think, on trying to write catchy and more popular type of songs. And you'll hear a difference between Hypocrite, which is a lot heavier,
Right.
uh, uh, and then we started getting a little more song based on that. Some catchy songs on there, "Tell Me What It Takes" and stuff like that. So I'd like to think that we were evolving as songwriters on that second album.
Cool. And then in 2018 on Z Records, Mach 3 Complete. Tell me a little bit about that album.
Right. And then there's a right, so that became the different version of Voices of Extreme, if you would. The three-piece, my guitar playing and singing on that particular record with Bobby Marks and Stephen Knight. So that one became a detour in regard to the songwriting and the look of the band and the whole presentation of the band. And that's the album that we got a chance to play all over the United States with Tesla and Jeff Tate. And so that's when the band really started to tour, if you would. Most of our touring was done with that album.
Now, Paul, are you basically a jazz bassist or a funk bassist? Because like stuff I was listening to back 16 years ago or whatever it was much different than what you're playing now.
Hmm. You know what? I've been a professional bass player all my life. So as a pro, you go through different times and different periods. So yeah, I could do the jazz thing. I could do the funk thing. But I mean, I'm a rock guy at heart.
Right.
My heroes were primarily rock guys, John Entwistle, Geezer Butler, things like that, with the occasional Stanley Clarke, and you know what I mean, the occasional jazz guys for the technique wise. So I'm lucky that I've been able to have the opportunity to do so many different things. That's one of the best things about living in like New York or near New York City, is that you have a chance to play with a country band one night, a funk band the other night. Oh, I've got a metal concert on Friday. You know what I mean? So I was just able and lucky enough to be able to do all these different things.
Now, Stanley Clarke, you think he gets the recognition of like Entwistle and everybody else?
Oh, sure. But he's more of a jazz fusion. I mean, that's where I'm also kind of a sweet spot of mine is the jazz thing. But, there's so much overplaying nowadays in in music with a lot of instruments, and certainly the worst offenders are bass players. I assure you that, But it's a fine line between doing what's right for the song and trying to put a little bit of flash or a little bit of yourself into something. So Stanley Clarke is a perfect example of somebody who can do both. He's a songwriter as well as this incredible jazz musician. Very, very few guys can do that.
You ever play a stand-up bass?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that comes to my head because I remember Sting playing a stand-up bass all the time and stuff like that. So
perfect example of a great bass player. Sting doesn't get the recognition he deserves as a bass player.
Right.
Because anybody who like Sting who can like sing in one time signature, play in another time signature, and he's dancing in yet another time signature all at the same time is like, truly incredible.
Right, yeah. Cool. Don, tell me a little bit about Red Lamb, which came out in 2012.
Now that's some heavy music, right?
Yeah.
That's a little heavier.
Uh-huh.
You don't hear me sing like that quite often, right? So that is a beautiful opportunity. Again, that came from the Voices of Extreme lineage, if you would, with Danny Spitz, who produced our first record, Hypocrite. And Danny and I became very good friends. And he had an opportunity. He went out out west with Dave Mustaine, a good friend of his, obviously. And they put together that Red Lamb brainchild, if you would. So it's a brainchild for the two of them. And Danny asked me to come in and sing on the record. So when I came to California, and Dave Mustaine was very kind and actually had me stay at his house. And then me and Danny was staying at his house. And he would take us to the studio every day. The album was done in Dave Mustaine's studio. And Dave produced my vocals. So if you listen to those vocals, many people think it's actually Dave singing on that record, just like I'm posing. But really what it is it's Dave Mustaine producing my vocal, to sing appropriately for that particular record, which obviously is much heavier than what I was doing. So I was fortunate enough to have two of the very best, heavy metal legends guiding me on that one. So that's why that's a little different vocal lane, if you would, but I love it, absolutely love it. It was an incredible experience.
Okay. Was there any chance of a second album coming from the Red Lamb?
I'm not, I wouldn't say never. I don't really know. That would be a business decision coming from Dave and Danny.
Yeah.
I just show up and sing, when he asks me to. So yeah.
Another band that I really liked a lot was Riot Act, which in 2020 that came out, self-titled EP. There you go. Cool. Tell me about the EP first.
Tell you about what?
EP that came out for Riot Act in 2020.
Well, the EP is full album, right? Double album.
The full album was in 22. That was Closer to the Flame.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the EP, yes. So the EP, Riot Act, is a very special project, the very beginning of Riot Act, the EP that you're talking about.
Right.
I was kind enough, Paul, I think, recommended me to the guys, and you know, it was my first introduction to the band Riot outside of Swords and Tequila, you know, and we got a chance. That was 5-piece band. Obviously, Paul, Claudio, Rick Ventura, Lou Cavaris, and myself. Now, that's a very special EP because, I mean, it was the 5 of us, and it was the first time I got a chance to sing with Lou was on one side of the stage and Rick was on the other, and I have to say that was quite amazing. And you know, so that first EP is our first onset release to the public, showing that, like, hey, you know, both of these guys have been in Riot, being Rick and Lou,
Right.
and you know, this is their new project. So it was really their new band,
Right.
with an amazing bass player and Claudio, who's awesome on the drums. So I was, you know, they auditioned me. I had to audition for that one. So
Wow.
It was a very quick audition.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, you got it. Just show them what we can do.
Paul had me in the band right away.
Oh yeah.
But the other guys not so much. I had to wait. But anyway, and you know, it was an amazing experience. And Lou became one of my closest friends, and obviously, it was very sad, his passing with COVID, and you know, so we didn't know what to do after that. We were so heartbroken when Lou passed that we're like, should we just give this up and let that go? And that's what that was.
Right.
And we realized, like, you know, Lou would not have wanted that. So there was still, because we had done so many other recordings,
Right.
you know, and then the double album came out, and that actually, I don't know if people know or not, but I mean, Lou is playing guitar on all of the legacy side of the record, on the on the legacy side.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the original Riot tunes, that's Lou playing on there also.
With Rick, obviously,
With Rick,
you know, obviously. So, but some people might not know that, but so because then Rick, then it became a 4-piece band, as you know, and Rick's guitar, it's, you know, became the prominent underlying tone of the songs in regard to so it was a different departure from the way it was. That 2-guitar attack was much different than what we did. So on the original side of that, Closer to the Flame record, the originals are much more Rick's guitar playing,
Right.
obviously based, where on the legacy side, the Riot songs, Lou is with Rick playing those rhythms. I think,
Right.
you know, half the leads or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah.
that. So, and then so, you know, it was a tribute to Lou, as well as, you know, moving the band forward. And at that point, Giles, GLM artists, hooked us up, and we played, I think it was 34 shows in 38 days,
Wow.
18,000-mile tour.
Mhm.
Yeah, in the US, so, and Canada. Yeah.
Plus
Now
2
let's- Okay.
Plus 2 European.
Cool. Now, Don Jovi. Let's get to that. And
Not through
my good friend Sean Tarr in that band, you know, and
you know Sean.
oh, I know Sean a long time.
Oh, I have 2 musical brothers. There's one over here, and Sean is the other. It's like, absolutely.
So tell me how that started, Don Jovi.
Don Jovi. Well, you know, I own a studio, D City Studios, right?
Right.
And so we do all of the audio video for so many bands in New York and Long Island. And so I'll tell you how the name started first. I don't know, let's say 20 years ago.
Right.
When I was doing Voices of Extreme early on and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, when I first joined Voices of Extreme, I would get teased that I looked like Bon Jovi so much, because at that point he had longer hair and this and that and all that kind of stuff, right? That the band, the manager, they brought me down to, like, I don't know, not a barbershop, a hairdressing salon, whatever. Cut my hair short, painted it black, anything to make me look a little more metal and less like Bon Jovi, right? So the going joke was like, this guy looks like so much Bon Jovi. He looks like Bon Jovi. Let's just call him Don Jovi. I think it was my wife who said that.
Right.
And so that was kind of a joke. Don't ask me what Brian made me sign or maybe go to GoDaddy 20 years ago, God bless, and just say, it's a joke. I don't want to do anybody else's music. I'm doing my music.
Right.
But I'm going to get this donjovi.com and I'm just going to secure it, whatever.
Right, yeah.
That was it. Done deal. That's 20 years or whatever. So anyway, after filming all these bands in New York for the last 10, 15 years, so many tribute bands. And everybody would be like, hey, you're gonna throw your hat in the ring. You're gonna throw your hat in the ring, you're gonna do this. I said, no, I'm busy. I'm with Riot Act, I'm with Voices of Extreme, I'm Red Lamb, I'm not doing any tribute, I'm doing my own music. And when I got back from that 18,000-mile tour, Paul and I used to sleep on a table in an RV next to each
Uh-huh.
other. But anyway, it was not exactly luxurious. It was a pretty tough tour. But when I got back, I was asked from my friend Nick Troiani, who owns Bon Journey, if I wanted to sing with him,
Right.
just for local. They do Bon Jovi and Journey, and I said, and then all of a sudden the light bulb went on. I said, I'll do that. And it was like, would you guys do the Don Jovi with me, because I had this idea 20 years ago.
Right.
And so that's how it started. And here we are, because I will say this, I know a lot more Bon Jovi songs and a lot more about Bon Jovi right now than I ever did. So
Right.
guys got
Yeah,
some hit
sure.
songs, God bless them. Absolutely. Some big stuff.
Yeah. And I see most of the places you play are selling out,
Selling out. Huge.
you
Yes.
know?
Yeah, we just played the Riviera Theater. We just did Mach Chunk Opera House. We go out to Tiffin, Ohio next week. It's just, it's are we selling out doing it? No, no, because truthfully, I realize, entertaining is a part of what I do. So whether I'm singing our songs, Voices of Extreme, or I'm singing Bon Jovi songs, I still take the stage very seriously. You always said that too. You take the stage very seriously, and so I'm honored to do it. I love doing it because number one, it doesn't stink when there's 1,000 people singing every word to every song. It's
Right.
it's
Yeah.
pretty fun. It's pretty fun.
Uh-huh.
So I imagine for him with
Right.
20,000 people, it's even more fun. But
Right.
so that part's a lot of fun. But it's performing, you know what I'm saying? So no matter what, we're performing, whether it's originals or covers. So I enjoy it both, and still obviously holding on to the Voices of Extreme and to the original part of things.
Now, Voice of Extreme with the new album, Faith in Action. Paul, tell me a little bit about the recording process of that album, and can both of you go down the tracks and give me some insight about each song? Because I don't have a song listing or nothing. So,
Well, so far the song order is still being decided, and a few of the tracks, what will wind up on the album, we're still actually deciding, because Don and I found out on the Riot Act tours that, hey, we share the alike musical mind.
Yeah.
So it's like, we have to do something together. So when we started writing with Voices of Extreme, it just flowed so naturally, and we've got a lot of material. So believe it or not, we have so much stuff that we're trying to see what's going to eventually be on the album with stuff.
right,
So
yeah.
yeah, we have, okay. So the first thing that we put out was Stone Babies. We have at least, I think, two more singles about coming out before the full album is released. As far as what they are, I don't think I could say quite yet, because it of course have to check with BraveWords Records and all that, and the label will we're partners with the label, so we still have to see exactly what comes out. But and there's also a special kind of, I will say this as an exclusive without giving much away, there is something on the album that, dare we say, it's a cover, but it is, but it's done our way. I can't say what it is.
Uh-huh.
I can't say what it is, but there is something on there that it's
And
pretty
you would
cool.
never guess it in a million years,
Yeah,
Brian.
it's something completely.
But I'm excited for everybody to hear. We are very excited.
And you're right. Don was so into doing it. I didn't have to sell him on the idea too much. He was like, yes. So it's something from his not background, but
Childhood
childhood,
Uh-huh.
you know.
admiration
Yeah.
of the biggest stars in the world. Yes.
And the cool thing about it is we have Rod Morgenstein playing on it, which is like,
Yeah.
one of the greatest drummers in existence, and Rod's just wonderful. He's wonderful to work with and just a sweetheart. And he loves Don. He loves my playing, which I'm very, very thankful for. And, but we have a lot of cool surprises coming up. That's all I could tell you, Brian, because, it's all hush hush and all that.
How many tracks you think will be on the album?
10 songs. 10 songs.
songs?
Yeah. And most of them are recorded and stuff like that. But, I think the second single is coming out soon. And the second single is Pain and Love.
Yes, I will. We will.
Yeah.
All right. So he said it. If he gets in trouble, somebody gets in trouble, it's going to be him.
Well, you can always edit it. I'm not sure how it works with that.
Yeah.
Pain and Love will be the next, and that one's been sitting there waiting for a while. But and then I believe Sorry is third. I'm not sure which one's the third.
Maybe Sorry. Gee, he's just giving it all away to you, Brian. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. See, I was like, oh, gosh. Well, all right. So just say it. So if he says
I just want Brian to know there's more than one song on the album.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Have you decided on the cover yet?
There it is. You see it back there?
Yeah, I see that. I thought maybe that was just for the single. So.
Oh no. No. We're gonna show you.
Here it comes. This one's fresh off the presses, thanks to Paul Ranieri and his amazing, super famous artist friend.
Cool. That looks like an album already, right?
All right.
Yeah, that's very,
Cool.
very, very, very cool. Very cool.
Kind of with the new logo and
Yeah.
Yes.
it's very cinematic. That's something that I'm bringing a lot to the table. It's just this visual thing as well. So.
You know something, Brian? No one has seen that album cover except for you. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Oh, I'm glad.
was
This will be posted today. Yeah.
So you will be seeing more of the album cover artwork also being posted and things, because we had to put out single art, they want single artwork,
Right.
not necessarily what the cover of the album will be. So
that's a single artwork.
yeah, so that the chick is
the chick.
single, yeah, and so we have something, Pain and Love. We'll have something else, yeah. So, but that's the album. You got the exclusive on it right there.
Cool. It seems like a lot of bands are say you have 10 tracks. A lot of people are just putting out singles, and then after all 10 singles are out, then the album comes out. Is that possible?
Well, I think we're going to be putting out, I believe it's 3 singles before the full album comes out.
Right, yeah.
Not 10 singles. Not going to drag it out that long. It's just going to be, we wanted to get the new music out there while we were finishing the album. So that was the strategy behind that. But I would say, I think it's 3 singles and then the album gets released.
Is there a planned date yet for the release?
Not a definitive date, but I think the album's probably going to drop about 4 months from now. So was that about April? Probably spring, mid-spring.
Now, will it come out on vinyl?
Yeah, we're gonna push for that, definitely.
Yeah, we have to have some vinyl.
Yeah.
Got to have some vinyl. You see that album cover? It's got to be in a big record sticking that thing over there.
Isn't that like what most bands are doing besides nowadays? Don't you?
Yeah, most bands are doing vinyl, and they're doing different colors with limited amounts of pressings.
Right.
Sure.
Right. Say 1,000 pressings, then 500, and then 2 like a red or whatever.
Right.
Which is great for collectors.
Absolutely. Yeah. We firmly believe something's just special about the physical media, and I'm sure you get into this conversation, this subject with other people. It's just there's something special about physical media.
Yep.
Nothing screams that more than the full LP like we grew up with and things like that.
Yeah, and they say sonically it's as close to having the music in the room with you as possible, and the record actually is the closest replication of music, from a recorded standpoint.
Yep.
So,
and seems to me that CDs are kind of like, I mean, people buy them yet, but they're on their way out, I feel, because you buy a computer, it don't have a disk drive no more. You buy a car, it don't have a disk drive no more.
correct.
But people got the album, the vinyl. but you know, it's either download or vinyl
Yeah, yeah.
or
Besides,
stream.
Brian, you need something to sell on the merch
We
table.
need something to
Right.
sell.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
yeah, how many coffee mugs can somebody possibly have from a band? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So,
Definitely. So you guys going to plan on the tour?
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. This band's got to play. I mean, we want to concentrate on getting the album done, but I think we're looking at hopefully like autumn.
Yeah.
For the band getting out there and playing with you know, whether it's playing with the bigger acts opening for the Nationals or some independent shows as well.
Yeah, but we're definitely working on it.
Did you ever think in your mind vinyl and even cassettes are making a comeback?
I love cassettes. Don't you love
Yeah,
cassettes?
I can't believe they're back.
I
No,
love
You
it.
know?
Actually, that's not a bad idea. Maybe you should put it out on cassette too.
Only cassettes.
I would be happy with vinyl and cassettes. Yeah, and the mugs. Yeah, sure.
Definitely. You know, as long as the cassette don't like unspool and stuff, and got to use your eraser to turn it back, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, man.
Back in the day.
That's it.
So, what are your hopes for this release once it's available?
What are we hoping for it to come from it? I would say this. Obviously the introduction of the new lineup, right? The new style of songwriting, which you hear on Stone Babies, right? And to let everybody know that, original music is still there. I mean, you need that, need that. You can, it's great, obviously tributing all the bands and all the great songs that have been and stuff like that. But there's always been an evolution. You can't just stop original music, because then there's nothing, what I'm saying? Then you're just tributing,
Right.
the tribute thing goes back, deeper and deeper back, without any new music coming out and becoming the new wave, if you would. So rock music, obviously, it gets confusing sometimes where rock music is in society, but it always evolves. It always finds a new path and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's still something magical about going to a rock concert. People can stream and it's all good. People can watch it and listen to it and study it on their phone or whatever it is. There's something really awesome about watching a band go do their thing live, and especially in a rock concert setting. So forward we go.
Right. Yeah. Do you feel like tribute bands are really taking over the club scene?
The club scene?
Yeah.
Tribute bands are certainly taking over the live arena, if you would. But however, yeah, like, right, the original bands play for 20, 30,000 people.
Right.
The tribute bands play for 1, 2, 3,000 people. So in other words, there is something to be said about being the band that wrote that song that makes you go crazy, know. And that's what Paul and I are continuing that effort. As much as we love to perform, and we do, we'd like to get a whole bunch of people in this world really excited about singing one of our songs or something like that. So,
cool. Yeah. And what about merchandise? What will be available?
Merchandising.
You gotta push the merch.
Gotta have the merchandise. Yep.
Every interview, I ask about merch. This way, people go there and buy it.
That's it. Got to have it. We'll have it. T-shirts. We'll have everything. Sweatbands, just like Riot bands. The merchandise. So, so we'll have sweatbands. We'll have CDs. We'll have albums. We'll have T-shirts and cassettes. Now that you said that, Brian, we're going cassettes.
Cool. So Paul, what's the feeling like when you got that album and you autograph it for some kid or somebody that really wanted it? What's that feeling like, giving out your autograph?
It's one of the perks of doing, still being able to do what we do at this stage of the game. And if you can inspire, and if somebody enjoys what you do, you go, you know, signing it. What else can I do for you? Can I wash your car? Can I do your laundry? That's what you kind of feel like. Anybody who takes the time, especially nowadays where the attention span is like 0.003, and
Mhm.
you've got that long to really capture somebody for them to listen just for the next 10 seconds. If you can accomplish that nowadays, and especially if they're younger,
Right.
yeah, yes, it means the world to us.
And we see a lot of youth out there, Brian, at the shows and stuff. And Voices of Extreme has always had a younger audience, which is interesting. You know, because I think maybe because of the heavy music a little. But it's amazing to see how many 18 to 25-year-olds there are out there that like are still into guitar solos and drums and
Bass solos.
bass solos. That's
There's going to be more bass solos than you ever think you would
the
hear.
next album will
know,
have a bass solo on every song.
in almost one, you always can see what I sneak in
Uh-huh.
somewhere in every tune.
But it is fun. It's pretty awesome to watch the kids get into the music that we grew up listening to. It's pretty fun.
You know, don't forget, Brian, nowadays, I think the market is not just the US. It's, you know, it's Japan, Korea, you know, it's the Far East as well as Europe. So there's different markets, and you know, sometimes you could see that the kids overseas appreciate the musicality more
Yeah.
than, you know, whereas I think American kids really are into the lyrics.
Right.
Maybe it's a language thing per se,
Mhm.
but you know, I find anytime I've done anything overseas, people are into the playing, you know, just as much, if not a little bit more than the actual lyric content.
Right. Well,
We're lucky enough that we have both. There I
Right.
say, shameless plug done. Thank you.
what's your feeling on paid meet and greets?
Yeah. You know
Well,
what?
Well, I would pay money to go and speak to Robert Plant. I'm just
You
saying.
know, it's one of the, honestly, the economics is what it is. To keep a band on the road, to make even to break even, you have to do these things.
You know, I learned that too with when we were playing with Tesla, and I would learn um honestly, Brian, you know, publishing and royalties from album sales, and the bands and the artists have gotten hurt so bad financially, right? So they have to be out on that road and to make any money. And with that said, you know, they make it up on ticket sale prices and on meet and greets and VIP meetings and stuff like that. So, you know, the bands, they still deserve to make a living out there.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's, if you're just waiting for record sales or radio airplay, you know, ouch. You know, even if you have a number one hit, ouch, you know.
Right.
So it's, you know, I mean, some ticket prices are crazy, but that's not really the band. It's
Right.
really
Yeah.
the scalpers and, you know, the agencies that are in between. But so I'd have to say, you know, I don't forsake the bands for trying to keep the dream going, keep the goal going moving forward. So,
You know, as long as it's not like really taking advantage,
Right.
not too expensive, and hey, you get to meet the entire band. They'll sign basically anything you want,
Right.
and maybe talk to you for a minute or two. You know, oh, maybe for not, I don't know what some other bands, I can't
Yeah.
talk, I can't comment on that. But like if we were going to do it, we wouldn't charge something crazy.
again, I would pay to see Robert Plant and speak to him. I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
right.
Yeah.
just in case Robert's watching.
Yeah.
You know?
So will we do it? Probably.
No, we don't have a number one hit
Oh,
song.
we don't, but you know
Not
what?
yet.
Yeah.
Usually
Yeah.
come up when we're on tour, you come up to us and we'll do anything, you know, we'll sign anything you want anyway. And we have.
A lot of bands, when they do the meet and greets, they put out a special VIP package, you know, like a special stuff that's not available at the merch table, but
Yeah, right.
is available for that package. So you're not just getting to meet the band, you're getting specialized product
Sure.
that
Yeah.
other people can't get.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
you only, like, they got a show coming up here at Dingbats, the small club, 200 people, with Doro from Warlock.
Of course.
Yeah.
Only 20 people, and she's giving out like different kind of posters only to them VIP people.
Yeah. Mhm.
So you get best of both worlds with that.
Absolutely. And it's supply and demand.
Mhm.
You know, maybe, maybe let's just say some person would pay $500 to go speak to this artist, you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah.
But someone else would be like, I only got $30, you know what I'm saying? I'd still like to go to this. And the bottom line is, I guess everybody's individual income will
Right.
give them, the bearing on what they want to spend to meet their artist and hang out with their artist.
Right.
It's nice if it is affordable for someone that you really love and admire as an artist, if you can afford to do it. But I don't see that as being crazy that like you said, Brian, if you wrap it up in a package, and some of these VIP packages are awesome.
Yeah.
You get merch, you get some time with the band, you get to ask questions to, legendary musicians. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it was great talking to you, Voices Extreme, and I appreciate the chat. Paul, would you like to say anything to the fans out there?
Oh, just looking forward to seeing everybody when we play live and enjoy our music. And we so appreciate anybody who's along with the ride,
Cool, cool. How about you, Don?
Same thing. I'd like to thank everybody for hanging in there. Voices of Extreme continues to move forward, and we truly appreciate all the fans that have been there from the beginning, and that we continue to gather as we move forward. And I'm excited for them to hear this and see this live.
Cool, cool. Thanks a lot, guys. Don't forget, Faith in Action video single, Stone Babies, out now. You can check it out. I'll be posting in a little while. And congratulations, you guys.
Thank you, Brian. You're the best. Thanks, my
Talk to
friend.
you later, man.
See you
Bye-bye.
soon. Bye-bye.